I have to start this video with an apology. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I didn't predict that Michigan would score more points, and I'm sorry that I didn't predict that Michigan would win by a larger margin of victory. I was wrong. And that goes out to everybody who had choice things to say after my preview episode. You know who you are, but I don't actually expect you to come back and watch this video. You're just like a fart in the wind. You come in abruptly, you make a stink, and then you're gone.
And like that.
So even though the Wolverines dominated in the first half, they went into the locker room with just a 2-point lead. But as has been a common theme for this season, they came out in the second and completely balled out. In my preview episode, I stated that Michigan should really focus on the passing game to be able to open things up more for the ground game. But honestly, by the second half, none of that really mattered because the offensive line was just pushing the Nittany Lions at the line of scrimmage. And that is when Edwards and Corum were able to run away with the game. Literally run away with the game. Huge credit to the guys up front like Hayes, Keegan, Zinter, Oluwatimi, and Barnhart for all the great work they did. They put this game on their shoulders and they brought Michigan the victory. The Penn State defense, which had not allowed a single running back to put up 100 yards yet this season, watched not one, but two Michigan Wolverines break 150 yards rushing, Edwards and Corum. The Wolverines put up 418 rushing yards to be exact, and the last time they broke 400 yards rushing was back in 2016 in a little 78-0 blowout when they were on the road at Rutgers. I mentioned last time that if the Michigan defense showed up strong, that they should probably have the opportunity at turnovers. That didn't happen, but honestly, when you only allow the opponent to put up 10 total offensive points, you don't really need turnovers. That is one area of growth for the defense, however, as they had several opportunities that were gifted to them, but they just didn't capitalize and secure the turnover. In the future, in bigger moments, those things will have a bigger impact. But right now, I am being a little nitpicky. Speaking of turnovers, how about JJ McCarthy's pick six? Honestly, that was horrible timing and very unfortunate, but it was a great growth experience for him because he wasn't shaken by it. He came back out, he kept his poise, he kept his head on his shoulders, and he kept leading the Michigan offense and through and into the second half when they absolutely dominated and gave Michigan the victory. So kudos to JJ McCarthy on keeping his cool even after a devastating blow like that in an important game. Now, one area of concern that I will critique is the red zone efficiency. Michigan had the opportunity to put up 28 points by halftime, but when they went into the locker room, they only had 16. Again, here at this point in the season, it's still working for them, but later on, converting field goals into touchdowns is going to become very important. So flipping back to the defense, man, they just did a heck of a job on Saturday. In 4 quarters of play, the Wolverines shut out Penn State for 2 of those 4 quarters. They registered 2 sacks, 5 quarterback hurries, and 4 tackles for loss. To close out this episode, I wanted to talk about the unsung hero of the day, the punter, Brad Robbins. He may not always be needed, but he's always ready. Because if you didn't notice, Michigan did not have to punt a single time on Saturday against Penn State. That is how effective the offense was. But hey, Brad Robbins, we still appreciate you. And honestly, if you don't get into the game, we're not really bothered by it, but we still appreciate you. So Michigan enters their bye week undefeated at 7-0. I still believe I'll release an episode or 2 this week. We'll just have to wait and see, but we for sure will be back after the weekend to start previewing their next opponent. Until then, you all know what to do. Go Blue.